stuff they have to go through.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. I don't know. Let's see what's going on today. Okay. Jen's in there. See what happened today. What happened today? Uh-oh. What just happened? How come we just switched our... Oh, maybe... What was that?
It was a commercial just now. I don't know if that had something to do with it.
Yeah, no, our people went like going... See what happened today. What happened today? Anything more with that dentist? I haven't looked at anything. That's a weird case.
The only thing I looked at was about the boy.
Oh, yeah, the boy was found safe. Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Did you hear about Karen Reed, Carolyn?
What about Karen Reed? What happened? Something happened?
She's doing civil suits now against everyone that was at the house.
Oh, really?
Like how they, for justice for John O'Keefe. And she put her papers in to sue them, and they are suing her back. So now she's got to deal with all that stuff.
Wait, justice for John O'Keefe, but the family of John O'Keefe is not joining her, right?
No, they filed a separate suit against her, but this other suit is her going against like Brian Higgins, Jen McCabe, the people at the house, the Alberts, all the people where he died at that house.
And who is her lawyer on that?
It's somebody else. I don't know who it is, but it's not the same people. But I think they will help her though with certain things. But I know Alan Jackson has like other cases he has to take care of. So Karen Reed put that in, and then like the next day, all the big players sued her. Also put in a claim for her against her. So that'll be going on. I don't know if they'll show that because that's actually like civil, right? I think they call it civil.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me see. I see something about this. Timothy. What is he saying? Timothy Busfield, this whole thing now. See, this, they went, I guess, and raided their Melissa Gilbert and Timothy Busfield. They have a house near me. And I guess that the buzz around here is that they went and raided that house. I think it was when he was on the run, supposedly. They went, I guess, and raided. Oh, okay. And see, they're saying heavily armed federal agents rammed down the door of Timothy Busfield's New York home in dramatic raid after those charges. And now they're saying that they're doing so much AI stuff, but that she wrote a letter apparently and said, keep my sweet husband in protective custody and don't let anything happen to him or something.
I didn't know that was her husband. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised for that a few years ago.
Laura Ingalls, that's her husband?
Laura Ingalls, yeah. And that's her husband, Timothy Busfield, the guy from, 30-something, but he's...
Yes, I love that show. That's weird.
But somebody around here, in one of our local town groups, her daughter worked for them, and she said, stop being so quick to judge, because her daughter, and she posted the letter, wrote a letter to the judge saying that they've known them for 14 years up here, and their daughter worked for them, and the daughter wrote a letter that there was never anything ever inappropriate that happened with them. So I don't know. And then they're trying to say that it's a money grab. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on. So
I didn't even know she was married. Wow.
Well, she's been married three times.
Yeah, I thought so. She had a divorce or something. Yeah.
Now she's got this business, Modern Prairie.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if anybody.
What is she selling?
She sells prairie dresses and like
What?
yeah,
Oh.
and she's partnered with oh gosh, few different pottery companies. They make like a line of pottery for her, and then
Well,
she has like these throws, but they're quilts and pot holders and oven mitts and things like that. But I have to say, and when I was a kid, I always wanted Laura Ingalls. I wanted her prairie dress, the exact one that she had.
yes, that was pretty. Yeah.
I wanted to wear that, and you couldn't find those anywhere. But now she makes Modern Prairie. But I have to say, she's a very thin woman.
Yeah.
And if you look at her in the dresses, they are not flattering. Many of them make her look heavy. So I don't understand how, like, even if somebody's a normal, I don't know. I just don't think they would be the most flattering dresses.
Maybe they're like, are they sundresses? That might be different for the summer too. Then
No, she has a lot of like
oh,
dresses, and you could look. I mean, she models them, and it like some of them even make her look bigger. Like
wow.
yeah, and you're like, wow, did she? And then you see her in something else, and you're like, oh no, she's not. That's not really very flattering. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah,
it's very different style, that's for sure.
yeah, like they're not cut like. I
They're
don't know.
boxy.
Yeah,
They're
but
really
like, because even the ones that her mother wore on the show, Caroline Ingalls, they were flattering. They didn't make her like they were fitted like and stuff. I don't know, and then Miss Beadle and stuff. But like the ones she has, you could take a look. It's called modernprairie.com, and you can see.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, and she has an Instagram where like every day she comes out in a different dress, and you'll see. I mean, I do like the apron. She has these really nice aprons. They're nice, but I just think the dresses, a lot of them, I don't think it would be flatter a lot of people.
Okay.
Hi, B Lady AP.
Style too. Like you're gonna wear that just out in the town?
Yeah, well, where she's living in the country and stuff, like you can.
It's different, yeah.
Some of them are like, yeah, you could wear them around. But she has stockings, and what else did they make? Some different things. But she was just, I think this business is like just like launching. I don't think it's very old. So now she's got this big controversy. But a lot of people around here, like mostly they're saying like, oh, if this is true, poor Laura, she didn't know any, they still call Laura, Melissa. They're like not blaming her or anything or thinking that she knew anything about this. But again, you don't know if any of this is true. You hear this other lady and her daughter wrote this letter, and who knows? So I don't know. Hi there, Sandra Voss. How are you? The connection is not good. Oh, let me see. Let me check it out. See this? They went, I guess, and redid their. Sounds good now. Sounds good now, Gia. Check it out now, Gia. I think it's fine now. But yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys? Anybody in the chat follow that about Timothy Busfield? You have any thoughts on that? Apparently, it's boys and a girl that's come forward, but they also said, I don't know, stuff that it could be a money grab. I don't know. Let's see if you. Let me see, because I know there was a lady. Let me see if I can find what she wrote, and I'll tell you what she wrote. Because she put it out publicly, so. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Okay. Because he's in New Mexico now. That's where he's being held. So they say actress Melissa Gilbert submitted a letter supporting her husband who's being held. And apparently, from what I saw, let's see. After days of speculation, he also said this is untrue. He's going to fight this. None of this happened. Melissa Gilbert revealed. What did she say? This is fake. Oh my gosh, that's fake. So much fake news. She asked the judge apparently to keep her sweet husband Timothy protected in jail. Allegedly there. Let's see what else. I'm trying to find where that lady. He's denied everything. I guess I have to go into the group. Let me go into the, I think it was this group. Okay. Oh yeah, passing a polygraph test. People to accept. Let's see what they say here. Yeah, the people, I guess, in one of the local groups. Let me see. I think they're believing that it's not true. Let's see. See if I can find that thing that I saw the other day. Was this it? No. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. Let me just do a search in the group and see if I can find it. Oh, no, I don't want your people. I want posts. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is the lady. She says, we stand with Tim Busfield. And this is a public post. So she says, I feel it's necessary to put my 2 cents about the allegations against Tim Busfield. We have known the Busfields for about 7 years, and at no point during our friendship has he come across as anything but a genuine friend, even hiring my beautiful daughter when she was 14 years old. She worked for them up until she was about 19 due to moving to New York City with her boyfriend for a job at Amtrak, even offering them their Manhattan apartment for his interview. There were never any ulterior motives. They were kind to my daughter and have always treated her with respect and kept her safe during her duties at their home. They had the utmost trust in my daughter as we did for them. We live close by, and if her daughter, I'm not going to give her daughter's name out, ever needed our help at their house, we weren't far. At times, we spent the night while they traveled for work to stay with their dogs. She tended the chickens, the garden, house, and taking in packages that were delivered and any other duties she was asked to take care of. They remember and still to this day remember my daughter at Christmas and her birthday. She is now 21 and is truly saddened by these allegations. As a corrections officer, I've come across many questionable and guilty people. Tim has never had any questionable behavior ever in my family's presence. His life is now being destroyed by ulterior motives due to sick grooming of those boys' parents. Could any of you at 11, what and how many times something may or may not have happened when you were 7? This doesn't even add up. What, in fact, is that those kids were fired and the parents are pissed about it, and they have been grooming their own children up to this. The alleged misconduct was unfounded years ago. Kids are impressionable, and you can put in ideas in a child's head with enough grooming. People's lives have been destroyed due to allegations such as this. Even when found innocent, there will always be a stain left for life. It's not innocent until proven guilty. It's guilty until you are found innocent. In the meantime, Tim is incarcerated and will be drugged through literal hell while fighting this. On a set, there are many people. Kids are required to have a teacher or someone on set on their behalf at all times, so don't rush to judgment. False allegations like this happen all the time, and the ulterior motive here is apparent: revenge and extortion. And then, let's see, she posted a letter from her daughter to the judge. It says, I have known Tim since I was 14 years old when him and Melissa bought a home down the road from my parents. Melissa had called my mom, who is the town of Highland nuisance wildlife animal control officer, to remove squirrels from their home. I went with my mom one day to help out, and Melissa and Tim were thankful to have us there. With their constant busy schedule, they needed someone to help out with tending to their chickens, the dogs, their gardens during the summer months, to also bring in packages and go to the house once in a while to check on things. And they chose me, the 14-year-old girl they had just met. They put a lot of trust in me for the next 5 years. I did just that. They love me like their own and have always made me feel safe. There has never been a time when being with Tim alone that I have ever had a bad feeling or even had felt the slightest bit uncomfortable around him. I have grown so close with Melissa and Tim. We have shared family barbecues together, any normal afternoon, and even holidays together. The accusations and charges against Tim have me saddened and confused that anyone would accuse him of such horrendous acts. Tim is caring, nurturing, and harmless. Never has he made any sort of predatory behavior towards me. I am now 21 and I'm a bartender, and I have been in very uncomfortable situations with men. It saddens me to see his face plastered on the news like some monster. That is not the Tim I know, and never in a million years would I believe he'd do such a thing to 2 young boys. This is something he's not even capable of doing. Please consider my personal experience as a young child with Timothy Busfield while trying to seek any truth related to these accusations. Thank you for considering my letter and my childhood experience related to Timothy Busfield. And then she put her signature there, and let's see. He passed a lie detector test. They said, let's see, I haven't seen this, but he accused of hurting young men or girls because of experience with a girl. Let's see, trauma takes time. Being SA'd is no joke. No one expects it. No one knows how to process it. 2 sides to every story. Well said. That was great to do for him. They are good people, and I believe in my heart he didn't do anything wrong. He maliciously, falsely accused as someone who has had to endure this in my life. It destroys lives. I really pray for him and Melissa that I hope he gets justice. Okay, so I don't know. So there was independent polygraph test after he surrendered. He took one of those. Let's see what it says here in the paper here. Let's see. He passed an independent polygraph test, his lawyer said Wednesday, as he appeared in New Mexico court. He denies the allegations in the criminal complaint. He maintains they are completely false. The 68-year-old's lawyer, Larry Stein, says in a statement, okay, let's see here. So I don't know. I wanted to see what happened there. Warren Beatty's 88 years old. And Leonardo DiCaprio is 50. My goodness. Okay. Teen jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge. What? after years of missteps. What happened? Uh-oh. What happened? The Zoom closed out. That's not good. I didn't even know that. I wonder, is the thing still open? Let me see. What happened? Do you know why she changed it when she testified? What, Debbie? What, B-Lady? Was that, oh, you mean Karen Reed? Is she talking about Karen Reed? Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it. Oh, why she changed it when she testified? Okay. Yeah, Karen Reed. Okay. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't lose the connection there. I don't know when the connection got lost.
A little message came up and stated that it would be shutting down to an upgrade or something.
Oh, okay.
So I just pushed OK and said it would stop in so many seconds and then restart. So I just pushed OK and then it just done whatever. So we just,
okay.
It showed us leaving.
Oh, okay. And then it came. All right. Yeah, I didn't know. Okay. But I guess B-Lady's asking about Karen Reed. Okay, but Jen's got that. I don't know.
Right.
Oh, you were talking about, the au pair? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, the au pair. Let me see. Do you know? Was that part of it? What do you mean, B-Lady, why she changed it? What did she change? On the first video with the cops, she said that the guy Joe Ryan, yeah, was the one doing it, and they had to stop him. In court, she said it was her husband. Oh, yeah, because B-Lady, when she was first arrested, up until even when she was behind bars, she was adamant that the what's his name, the husband, never did any of this, that it was Joe Ryan that did it. And then, after almost a year, and she had been offered plea deals prior, that's what the defense was asking her. Why did you suddenly change your whole story and take this plea deal? And that's when she said, oh, well, because I was afraid I wouldn't get a lawyer, because his mother was paying for the lawyer and paying for her phone calls to her mother. But then the defense lawyer was like, no, that's not right. You knew you could get, another lawyer. They would be provided for you. And so, yeah, her story changed. The defense is trying to say when she felt like he was pulling away from her and she could get this better deal and get out of this. And the prosecution kept telling her this and making her these deals. And then she just, okay. And then she started getting contacted by these documentaries. So now she can change her mind due to her. No. She's not changed her mind since the plea deal. She wanted to get the plea deal. She had to give an interview of what she says really happened. And that's what she's been maintaining. She hasn't changed then. She changed to get the plea deal. If this works, it implies that anyone can lie and then change their mind. Sure. If they're given a plea deal, sure. A lot of people do that. A lot. Look how many have done that. Look at Gypsy Rose. Look at so many that have taken plea deals. They'll maintain their innocence. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Okay. Yeah, I did it. And not to get the death penalty, not to get this, but she got what they actually call, what the defense calls a sweetheart of a deal. So what she said first wasn't the truth, and news stations have it posted on their sites, and they get away with it. Well, but they're reporting on what she said, though, B-Lady. Like this guy now that killed the dentist, and his ex-wife says he's not guilty, right? So if he goes and he says, I'm not guilty, that's what he's going to say. Most of them all say they're not guilty. Yeah, and then they all change it. If they're going to take a plea deal or plead guilty or plead to a lesser offense. The one I viewed, it is... Yeah, but that's the way it works. Do you follow a lot of true crime cases? It's the way it almost always works. Very few of them go in there and say, I did this. Even when they did it, even when it's like clear cut, they did it. Look at Bryan Kohberger. That's another example. He took a
Very
plea deal.
rarely do you hear of anyone admitting it, even in when they show them pictures and everything black and white right in front of their face.
Right, they're always lying, right? You're always, oh yeah, no, that wasn't me. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't think that's me. That doesn't look like me.
Yeah, they'll always try to get out of it. I think it's human nature. They're going to try to get out of that with these guys. I mean, listen, if they're already committed murders and more than one, they're not really the most upstanding people. Like, do you think they're worried about telling a lie? That's the least of it, right? A lie? After you murder someone?
Right.
Come on. The evidence on Bryan was so compelling. Right, but he still said he didn't do it, the B-Lady. And it wasn't until they came down to the plea deal that he admitted it.
But they were getting ready to go to trial.
Yeah. There's so many like that.
And he held out until it was time to start trial.
Right.
How long was that?
Yeah. Aiden Fucci took the plea deal the day that trial was supposed to start. The 13-year-old that stabbed that girl so many times in Florida, killing her. Yeah, and he maintained his innocence. His mother even washed his pants. And then he took a plea deal on the day trial was supposed to start. Let's see, which thing?
Yes, that's right, on Bryan Kohberger, yes.
Oh yeah, to avoid the death penalty. A lot of them get a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. Chris Watts did too. He said he wasn't guilty. He said his wife did it. They all did. Very few of them go in there and say, I'm guilty, I did it. Scott Peterson. But they're still maintaining on that one.
Well, that's like, what's her name? The big one years ago that she got death row that killed her kids. Said it was an intruder.
Oh, yeah, Darlie Routier.
Yeah, and she's coming up for her death penalty date. She's still fighting, though.
Oh, really? She's coming up.
Yeah, she's still fighting, maintaining her innocence. I mean, that's not pretty much the only one I know that's right offhand that's still doing that.
Yeah.
Because the majority of them, when they see all the evidence, they're like, they just give up fighting and give in if they did it. That's the only thing that makes me wonder about her.
Yeah. And then there's so many recently.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that do.
Yeah. Especially if the death penalty's on the
Right,
table.
if they're facing that, and if they know, that's what I'm saying, if they know the evidence points to them and nobody else, you might as well give it, if it was me, I'd take life, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and then they had the Alford plea too, B lady,
Mhm.
like that other Peterson guy who his wife died falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
He took an Alford plea. So that's like you're admitting that they have enough evidence on you, but you're not admitting that you technically did it, but that you know the prosecution has enough evidence to convict you.
Mhm.
So there's ones that take that, they're offered that plea deal. The Smith lady who drove the car into the lake, yeah, Susan Smith, keeps trying to get parole. Yeah, but she's another one that
Mhm. That's a different one too. But she's not on death row like the other lady.
oh. I'm trying to think of the Koberger took a plea deal, and I wonder if that you've got the I don't know if that Stamping Up girl is going to take a plea deal at the last minute, because I think they've got the death penalty on them in Florida, both of them.
Yes, she got stopped protecting him and gave up. Well, they're both guilty, in my opinion. And she admitted to what she did. She pled guilty to a lesser charge, yes. But
I don't know. Well, you could look at it both ways, B lady, because
yeah,
I think they're trying to say too that some people believe she did it. She helped kill them. She admitted she shot Joe Ryan,
yeah,
but some people are saying, like, how do you know she didn't stab the wife with the knife? Because there's not enough. It's inconclusive.
mm-hmm.
The fingerprints and stuff on that knife and the DNA, because it was tossed all around the room, stepped on. Now they're
And a
trying to
lot of
destroy
it,
her
though,
credibility. So
a lot of it, though, and some of that stuff that she was eliminated
yeah,
from DNA.
Yeah, but she's shown to be like just a liar in general. Like so.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like how could, and she got this deal that's crazy, and she's making
Yeah.
money on this, and she's been very unlikable. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't agree with all that. I'm just talking about the DNA part.
Right,
A lot of
yeah.
it, she was eliminated from. And I was like, I thought that was interesting.
Right. I view a lot of women on death row and in prison. Some of them are very interesting. Barrymore Few case with Suzanne took so long until they found her bones. Exactly. No, she's not very likable, I said. She's not. The au pair is not
Right.
very likable, Beeb lady. Not. Especially when you read her letters. She's out for money. They deserve it. It's. Definitely strange. I'm going to see when Darlene Routier is supposed to be executed. Okay. Darlene. Okay, death row information. Darlene Routier. Date of birth, 1970. January 4th. She just had a birthday this month. Okay. Native state, Pennsylvania. Altoona, Pennsylvania. Okay.
Right.
Date of offense was 1996. I don't see. Let's see. Here. Because they are doing a lot of executions, especially in some of these states. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
See when. Routier, death penalty information. That's old. Faces on death row. Let's see. Women. Female. See, there's only, do you know there's only one? Who's this? Kimberly Cargill. Heard her name before. Brittany Marlowe Holberg. Taylor Renee Parker. Darlie Lynn Routier. Are they the only one in Texas, or I guess, Texas, right? Kimberly Cargill, I've heard her name before. She was convicted in the murder of a woman who was set to testify against her in a child protective case. She's been on for 11 years and 3 months. Brittany Marlowe Holberg has been on death row for 25 years and 5 months. Taylor Renee Parker, I think that's the girl that cut the baby out of somebody. She's been on death row for 9 months. And Darlie Routier has been on death row for 26 years and 7 months.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. I wonder if how much she's had to have exhausted all of her appeals, right?
I think so. I know that she had reached out to what's those ones at the Innocence Project, and yeah, and they're trying to help her. They believe that she is innocent. I don't know, but they don't have too long. And I'm not talking about like 6 months, maybe a year or two. Yeah.
Let's see. Something in 2024. She sits on death row awaiting execution while her lawyers appeal her case.
Two years ago.
That was, November 8th of 2024. So it's about a little over a year. Found guilty. Can't say anything. I don't think they can't even. Let me see if I put in her appeal. Criminal appeals. What was this? This is What is the date on this? Whatever happened to Darla? Routier versus 2003. Facts. Okay. There's a lot of people that believe she's innocent.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. You just don't hear much on it, and there's only 4 of them on death row there in Texas. Darlie Routier, B. Lady Apiary. Do you remember that case? It's in, she took allegedly killed her 2 little boys. Her husband was upstairs asleep with an infant. And then she cut herself, but not that badly. And I think it was her mother that called the police. Did she call her mother or something? Or she called the husband. I don't know. The husband came down, tried to do CPR on the kids. The kids died. The 2 little boys died. And she said it was a home invasion. And then there's a whole thing with silly string on the graves, which that's not the biggest deal for me, because if she was trying to, I don't know, people do things in grief. That is not the biggest thing for me at all. There's like some evidence at the house that I can't put, like the way the window was, and more than silly string on the grave.
Yeah. Wasn't they celebrating his birthday?
Yeah, something like
Or
that.
his
And
birthday?
yeah, you don't know. I'd like that. Okay, maybe it's not what somebody would do, but maybe she did it. That doesn't.
Maybe that was the way she handled that moment, trying to be
Right.
happy or
Yeah.
do something silly.
Yeah, so that's not what it is, but it's like,
Yeah.
I know they had like something with a sock, I remember, and like the window, and there was something in the alleyway, and I can't understand why, if she was going to kill her kids.
The sock was down the alleyway.
Yeah, right? If she was going to kill her kids, why would she have left the baby alive, who's probably
Yeah.
going to be the most work for her, right? If that was the whole idea, that, I don't know. So many things that don't make sense.
Right. There's a lot with that case that's why I always keep looking, because there's a lot of it that don't add up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying there ain't some that does, but there's a
Right.
lot that don't either. And it's just, I've been iffy on that one this whole time.
Yeah. Who did? The young lady who was charged with unaliving her hubby by pushing him out the window of the tall tower. She took her life in prison. She pushed him out of the window in a tall tower. What's her name, bee lady? That doesn't ring a bell to me right now.
Where did it happen, the bee lady?
I can't recall her name. Came across her when I was looking for something else. Hold on, okay. I wonder how many women are on death row in the United States. $43 to 47 women on death row in the United States. Let's see what this says. Krista Pike. Wasn't she? I thought she was. Is the only woman on Tennessee's death row. She committed murder when she was 18 with severe but untreated mental illness. She is one of 47 women on death row in the United States as of October of 2025, along with her boyfriend, Daryl Ship, then 17, and Shadola Peterson, then 18. They killed Colleen Slemmer while attending government-run program to help teenagers gain job skills. I wonder. The murder was sensationalized because a pentagram had been carved into Slemmer's chest, a reflection of a satanic imagery. Oh, I think I remember this. Let me see. Actual execution of female offenders is quite rare. On death row. They were going to, did they execute that Krista Pike? They were going to, let's see. Oh, they're supposed to do it this year to the girl, and it's September 30th, 2026. Okay, let's see. Let's see. You say Amber Haberling in Oklahoma. 2016 took her life. I learned a lot about the minds of these women in the prison interviews. Okay, you like to, okay. 2016, Amber Haberling. That name doesn't sound familiar, but Amber Hibberling. She wrote a letter one day before she died in prison. It says, Amber Hibberling wrote a letter one day before she died in prison. The letter was addressed to Tulsa's Channel 8 executive producer Amy Sullivan. It was in response to the station's request to talk to her about her story and life behind bars. She said, I'm willing to do an interview despite my honest reservations. Please understand the misfortune I've suffered from media interviews I had agreed to do on the popular promise of helping me, because I can't let go of the hope that using my own voice in conversations about my own life will be the one and only chance I have to change the circumstances of my own reality. Okay, in 2013, a jury found her guilty of intentionally pushing her husband, Joshua Hilberling, to his death from a 25-floor apartment in Tulsa. She denied it until the end. Although her death was ruled a suicide by what appeared to be hanging, she expressed no despair in the letter she mailed to the station. Her words seemed focused and well written. Obviously, she had a story she wanted to share. Her parents say the letter is even more proof that Amber would have never taken her own life, something they've doubted since they were notified. Let's see, is this the letter? Tragic fall of Josh Hilberling. Let me see if I can. Psychologist says her letter seems off. And then her mother sued the prison for failing to prevent her daughter from taking her own life. Let's see, here's this letter. Where's her letter? Okay, where's the letter? Show the envelope. Change. The psychologist says that the letter is off. Why? Let's see. New reaction to a letter some would say came from beyond the grave. Amber Hilberling wrote it the day before she died of an apparent suicide. In neat print, Hilberling politely apologizes for a delayed response to our interview request. More than 200 words later, there was an offering of thanks, followed by perhaps the last time she ever signed her name. It does seem off, said Dr. Bert Trentham, a psychologist, and there's 2 smiley faces on the final page. Trentham analyzed the note word for word, looking for any indication of what was to come. There's no statement of intent to harm herself. There's no indication of finality. It could demonstrate resilience. It could demonstrate a need for attention, craving notoriety. In fact, he says there's a tinge of hope and resiliency. I did pick up on some hope, but still looking forward to some opportunity to get her story out. She's wanting to connect. Dr. Trentham says that it's in a volatile environment such as prison, where Hilberling has spent more than 3 years, a person's state of mind is on shaky ground. A person's frame of mind can change in a matter of moments. Someone can go from being psychologically balanced to the world is ending. He does add, however, that predicting and preventing suicide is very difficult and not an exact science. There are several hallmark features that you can look for, and there's things, if they're present, signal red flags to be concerned about, and I don't see any of those in the letter that you received. Hey, Amy, we're just talking about, we talked about Darlie Routier and trying to figure out when she's supposed to be executed. And then B-Lady had me look into this other thing. You know they have cameras in those rooms. They found her guilty by crying. When arrested, she kept blaming herself. I don't believe she meant to push him, but she was found guilty. I watched Parker's interview on death row in Texas. Oh yeah, Parker Taylor? Is that the one that cut the baby out of, someone, was it Megan? Was that, I'm trying to remember what the name is. Do you know the Darlie Routier case, Amy, Justice League? It's in your state, right? Hold on, let me look at something. I want to find this thing. Hold on a sec. Where's the, oh yeah, this is what I want. Okay. Corey Richins, Kelly Simmons. Okay. Current and upcoming trials. Sarah Patrick, that young girl, is gonna. When is her trial coming up? Sarah Grace Patrick, Georgia teen, charged with killing her mother and stepfather in February of 2025. When is her trial coming up? Hearing, a bond hearing. Oh, the trial is in August. There's going to be a lot of trials in August. Let's see what else. Corey Richins, her trial starts. When is it? February? Let me see. When is it starting? Corey Richins. Let's see. Corey Richins. I thought her trial's coming up in February, isn't it? Case is in the pretrial phase. I think it's coming up very soon, but I don't know if she's going to take a plea deal or something. And at Kepner, they still haven't. That guy, Austin Drummond, that one that killed all those people and left the baby alive last summer. What's up with him? Murder of Emily Pike, Sarah Grace Patrick. Murder of Nikki McCain. Holly Bobo. That's Emmanuel Harrow. Anna Walsh they already had. I was trying to see if they had. Darlie Routier on here. Madeline Kojikari, they. Let's see here. Let me look for her name here. Surprised they don't have her, I don't think. Okay, let me go over back to you. Let's see. Amy says, I deep dove. Hold on a minute. Where are you, Amy? I'm coming back. I deep dove into it on YouTube in 2018. That's how I found out about YouTube true crime. Okay. I have a question. If they believe the au pair's testimony, will Brendan be on the stand? It has nothing to do with believing her testimony. He is the one, and only the one, that can decide if he wants to take the stand. That's his right and only his right. No one can make him take the stand. I don't know what he'll do. Is she on the stand first because she took a plea deal? She's on the stand first because she's the witness for the state. The plea deal required her to turn state witness on the defendant. That's the requirement of the plea deal. And what do you think about it, Amy? You think she's guilty or innocent? Darlie Routier. Darlie Routier. I want to hear what Amy says about Darlie Routier. If she thinks she's guilty or innocent, since she did a deep dive on her. Oh yeah, they both are guilty. There, lady. They both are guilty. Oh, why did they leave the baby? Why did they leave the baby, Amy? That doesn't make any sense. Why did they leave the baby alive? That's Darlie Routier. Darlie Routier in Texas. She's on death row. You should look into that one, B-Lady. She's from Rolette, Texas. She was convicted and sentenced to death for the murder of her 5-year-old son, Damon, in 1996. She's also been charged with capital murder in the death of her 6-year-old son, Devin, who was murdered at the same time as Damon. To date, she has not been tried for Devin's murder. Damon and Devin were stabbed to death with a large kitchen knife in the Routiers' home, while she sustained knife wounds to her throat and arm. Routier told authorities that the crime was perpetrated by an unidentified intruder. During the trial, prosecution argued that Routier's injuries were self-inflicted, the crime scene had been staged, and that she murdered her sons because of the family's financial difficulties. The defense argued there was no reason Routier would have killed her children, and that the case did not have a motive, a confession, or any witnesses. In February of 1997, the jury found Routier guilty of the murder of Damon and sentenced her to death by lethal injection. 2 appeals filed by Routier based on allegations of irregularities during the trial were denied. Since at least 2018, DNA tests have been ordered multiple times after technology has advanced. As of 2024, the results of those tests are still pending. Routier's case has been the subject of multiple books and television shows. Routier's ex-husband believes that she is innocent. It happened on June 6, 1996 at 2:31 a.m. 911 dispatchers in Rolette, Texas received a call from the Routier residence. Routier told the operator that her home had been broken into and that an intruder had stabbed her children, 6-year-old Devin, 5-year-old Damon, and cut her throat. Police arrived within 3 minutes, and they discovered a window screen in the garage had been cut, which indicated a possible entry point for an intruder. A search of the house and grounds did not locate an intruder. Having thus secured the site, police permitted paramedics to attend to the victims. Routier told the police she had fallen asleep on the couch while watching television with her 2 sons and woke up later, discovering an unknown man in her house. She stated that as she approached him, the man fled, dropping the knife in a utility room as he ran. After picking up the knife and chasing him away, Routier said she realized that she and her children had been wounded and called 911. Police found it highly suspicious that Routier claimed she had only awoken after the attack that severely wounded her and her sons. Routier told police that the assailant escaped through the garage. Investigators said the garage contained no drops of blood, and they added that indications were that no one had run through there at all. The window sills in the garage had untouched layers of dust, including the window that had been cut, implying that no one had actually climbed through it, and the mulch in the lower flower beds between the garage and the backyard gate was undisturbed. However, a fingerprint was found on the windowsill, which was determined in 2002 not to belong to anyone in the family. Fingerprint expert Pat Wortham would later testify before an appeals court that he could not rule out that Darlie Routier's right ring finger as the source of the print. A bloody sock was discovered 75 yards away from the house. Lab tests revealed it had blood from both of Routier's sons on it. It also matched other socks from the Routier house, which belonged to her husband, Darren. Both Damon and Devin sustained fatal injuries. Her wounds, described as superficial, came within 2 millimeters of her carotid artery. Routier was treated at a hospital and released 2 days later. Her youngest son, 7-month-old Drake, was asleep upstairs with her husband, Darren, at the time. Both escaped harm. Newscasters show Routier and other family members holding a birthday party at the boy's grave to posthumously celebrate Devin's 7th birthday 8 days after the murder. She was shown smiling and laughing as she sprayed silly string on the graves in celebration, singing "Happy Birthday." Family members point out The newscast did not show an earlier video that depicted a solemn ceremony honoring the children. 4 days later, on June 18th, Routier was arrested and charged with capital murder. Routier later commented on the video saying, "He wanted to be 7. I did the only thing I knew how to do to honor him and give him all his wishes because he wasn't here anymore. But how do you know what you're going to do when you lose 2 children? How do you know how you're going to act?" Her trial began on January 6th of 1997 in Kerrville, Texas. The prosecution suggested that Routier murdered her sons because of the family's financial difficulties, and they described Routier as a self-centered woman, a materialistic woman, and a woman cold enough to, in fact, murder her own 2 children. They showed the jurors the silly string video. Crime scene consultant James Cron testified that evidence suggested the scene inside the Routier residence had been staged. Prosecution also suggested there was a financial motive for the murders since both boys had a life insurance policy on them. The defense contended that this amounted to only $10,000, not enough to cover their funeral expenses. Furthermore, they asked why, if she was willing to murder for money, she did not kill her husband, who had an $800,000 life insurance policy. The defense also questioned why, if she killed her sons to preserve her lavish lifestyle, she left her youngest son, 7-month-old Drake, alive and unharmed. Routier was represented by lawyer Douglas Mulder. Defense attorney said there was no reason why she would have killed her children and that the case did not have a motive, a confession, or any witnesses. They asserted that it was unrealistic to accuse Routier of staging a crime scene. Her attorneys advised her not to appear on the witness stand, but she testified anyway and withered under cross-examination by prosecutor Toby Shook. San Antonio Chief Medical Examiner Vincent DeMeo testified that the wound to Routier's neck came within 2 millimeters of her carotid artery and that it was not consistent with the self-inflicted wounds he had seen in the past. That differed from the assertions of her treating physicians who had told police that the wounds might have been self-inflicted. Tom Bevel testified that cast-off blood found on the back of Routier's nightshirt indicated that she had raised the knife over her head as she withdrew it from each boy to stab again. One crucial aspect of the defense's case was the bloody sock found outside the house. When the police contended that this was merely a ruse designed to falsely implicate an intruder had fled the scene, the defense contended that, if proved, Routier could have not committed the crime. Damon was alive when the paramedics arrived on the scene, and the medical examiner testified the boy could only have survived approximately 8 minutes after receiving his injuries. Routier was on the phone with 911 for almost 6 minutes. Defense argued that this did not leave enough time for Routier to cut herself and stage the crime scene, plant the sock outside the house, and return before paramedics arrived. They also stated that despite her injuries, Routier's blood was not found in the garage or anywhere outside the home. Prosecution countered that Routier could have planted the sock before self-inflicting her own injuries, and the medical examiner's survival time for Damon after he was stabbed was only an estimation. On February 1st, Routier was convicted of murdering Damon. On February 4th, she was sentenced to death by lethal injection. Let's see. In June of 2011, Darren Routier filed for divorce from his wife, saying that the decision was mutual and very difficult, and he still believes his wife is innocent. He said they decided to divorce to end their limbo that they have been in since her arrest and conviction. And that's the nutshell there. B lady. My best friend wrote her in prison because she thinks she was innocent, and she wrote back, I will ask her if she can read it here. Oh, good. Amy says, where'd you say that? Let me see. In June of 2017 or 18, they had a several-day documentary about why she wasn't guilty. I remember that. I don't remember which network, but it was the main channel. It was pretty good. I remember that. Let's see. He was talking, which I wonder that too. If you killed them because they were too much, you would think you would have taken the baby, as bad as that sounds. Yeah. Does your friend still think she's innocent, Amy? I wonder where Drake is now. Oh my gosh, Drake had cancer. Let me see. I think I remember that now. Drake found out in 2013 he had acute lymphocytic leukemia, which is the most common type of cancer in children. Result in a good chance for a cure. Let's see. He visits his mother. Behind glass. Let's see. Routier's son left with grandparents. Oh, they live near Meganells. It says a Dallas judge has ordered that the surviving son of convicted killer Darlie Routier live with the Lubbock parents of her husband, Darren. Grandmother Cyrilda Routier cheered as the decision was read in court. The family says they're happy the boy will live the West Texas town of Lubbock, where he can be shielded from the glare of the media spotlight. Darren Routier agreed with the decision, saying, I have to get a home. I have to get my life straightened out before living with his son again. Routier was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to die for killing 5-year-old Damon Routier. But what about her parents? What happened there? Drake Routier. So I guess he ended up living in Lubbock too. Okay. Yes, they were living in a Dallas suburb when it happened. Right. I think Drake yeah, I think so. Does, but we haven't talked about it. It's called The Last Defense on ABC. Could be cool if we could watch it. Don't know if it's available. Last Defense. Let me see. I remember watching it. When did it, let me see. It was from 2018. Interesting. I don't understand what this is. Okay. I'm going to get more snow tomorrow. I don't know, Amy. Let's see what else is going on in the world here. Father allegedly shot and killed Amazon driver, 25, who he thought was his daughter's boyfriend. Wow. 90 Day Fiancé star Lita Margaritha, charged with 24 felonies in Wisconsin. Back-to-back winter storms hit the east. Arctic blast. Keith Urban moves in with a new girlfriend. Amanda includes details of his son in 5 years. Okay, that's woman wakes up with an 8-foot python coiled on her chest. What? What? Okay, let's see. Lance Twiggs. Man killed restaurant owner's son after confrontation because he thought... What? He thought he was being mocked. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's go to there was something I was going to look at. I don't remember what it was. I can't. Okay, I guess we're just going to... I don't know what I was looking up something. I know I can't find it, but we're just going to do the word cookies and call it a night because it's been a long day and it's only 1:41, but I've been going to bed earlier, so I'm going to listen and read about Darlie Routier before I go to sleep. I'm intrigued. See you later. Okay, I'm glad we could intrigue you, B-Lady. Sweet dreams. Oh, on ABC YouTube channel? Okay, great. Did you see that, B-Lady? You can watch it on the ABC YouTube channel. What did you retract, Amy? You did it. I don't know what you said, Amy. Still trying to get this word right here. There we go. Okay, Amy. Well, I don't know what you were trying to say, but hopefully you saw that, B-Lady Apiary. You could watch that. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go to sleep too. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a good night. Thank you for hanging with us. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. God bless and prayers. And I've got to figure out how to get you out of here.